German papers do not always mean success. People actually end up being alone and being in apartments and being found like gone, you know. So guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, this is your girl Kenyan in Germany. Make sure you subscribe, that is if you haven't. You can watch this video please to the end, share it, and like I said, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Okay, so I just came back from work and we're about to make dinner. And you guys, tomorrow I'm having a day off. I'm so happy. So whoever said all that glitters is not gold was like going through stuff, like must have seen fire, Holy Ghost fire, because it's true, all that glitters is not good. As someone who is married to a white Caucasian man, I've been reading comments, I've been watching videos and reading comments about interracial relationships, especially about this one couple like Dimwango. You know Dimwango, guys, she's a Kenyan YouTuber. People have actually been, especially the reactors, they've actually been reacting on her videos or to her videos extremely. And there was this one person who actually commented that you know, she's married for the papers and she's actually doing the whole financial support in that family and all that. And that got me into thinking, that is what most ladies, black ladies, African ladies are going through in the diaspora. Let nobody lie to you, you know. Dimwango is not the only one. And I can tell you one thing. There are so many ladies, there are so many women, black African women who are married to white men, Caucasian men, and all they do is support these people financially, emotionally, physically, whatever kind of way. No, I'm not saying they're not married to people who have money or people who are not working. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying the biggest percent, I've seen these guys from people that I know, the biggest percent of black African women who are married to white Caucasian men. They're doing the whole financing thing, like financially, they are the supporters in the homes. They have to support the family in Germany, for example, and they have to support the families back home. They have to go to work, they have to come home, do the cleaning, the cooking, everything. Like our black sisters out here are suffering in the diaspora. You guys do not know that, because all we or they post is like that glamorous life, like, you know, luxury, like the cars, the expensive caviar and champagne restaurant visit, the cute dress, Hermes, you know, Gucci bag and all that. It's not true, my people. Forget about social media. Forget about social media. People here out are suffering, you know. And if you think it's the only, like, the poor ladies, them shamba ladies doing that, like posting things and all that, no, it's actually people you will never think will ever post such things. People you actually thought they're princess and they're getting like the princess services from their Caucasian men and all that. These people are working hard to finance all these lives, you know, the Monaco visits, the you know, all these France, we went to Paris, in London and all that. They're financing all this themselves, if whether you believe it or not. So the other day I was thinking, would you rather, as a lady, that you stay at home and get spoiled, like get whatever you want from your husband, but get cheated on, or would you rather that you live this kind of life? Like, you are supporting the family here financially, your hubby is doing nothing, emotionally, physically, you are tired and all that, but you have your peace of mind, like he's not cheating. Which one are you going to be choosing? Like, ladies, comment down below, comment down below. And if you are ladies out there who want to move abroad and thinking white skin means money, come here and experience with us. Come here and experience with us. These are like the most broke people you've ever seen. Like the country itself, I'm talking about Germany because I live in Germany. Country itself is rich as a whole, but individually, like one person to the other, these people are as broke as fuck. I'm not saying there are no rich people here. Of course you have rich people, like, you know, all that. And we have people who actually married to rich men here, who are actually being treated nicely and well as ladies, but not everybody, you know. Like the biggest percent is suffering, you know. They have to hustle, they have to go to work, they have to go to language school, they have to go to driving school. They're paying all this themselves, and then coming home to housework, to cooking, and then the next day comes, they repeat this the same thing. When it comes to holidays, these ladies are the ones actually financing the whole holidays. They're the same ladies actually visiting expensive restaurants with their men for social media purposes, taking pictures and paying hundreds and hundreds of euros of bills, you know, because they want to make you think, yeah, I'm in Europe, I'm doing good, but deep down inside, these people are crying in the toilets, you know. Life out here is so fake. And I'm not only talking about women in Germany. I've seen that in the US, for example, in other countries as well. There are cases where we have a black man actually who got brought to Europe, for example, to Germany, by their wives, their African wives. And now that they live here and they have family, they are not making any effort to actually integrate themselves, to go to school, to college, to look for work. Then they're just seated there at home, you know. The lady, like, is doing everything. You know, the African lady is doing everything. The African guy, all he does is watch movies, go shopping, go out with the boys, go clubbing, you know, go meet white girls, wherever. But the black lady is actually doing most of the bills paying. She's doing not almost, like mostly everything. You know, she's paying the bills, she's organizing everything for the kids, the kindergarten and all that. You know, this guy is not being helpful in any way apart from, you know, eating and drinking whatever you bring home. Whatever you cook is eating. You come home, the dishes are not clean. You have to do everything. But back to the side of being married to Caucasian men, it's not easy because most of these people usually take advantage of marrying the African ladies, you know, because they know you are dependent on me to get your documents, to get your German papers, to get your German passport. So you need to work for me. You need to be my slave, little girl, you know. You need to find work, you know, you need to go to work, pay the bills, otherwise I'm going to divorce you or I'm going to get separated from you, you know. So these ladies are mostly under pressure, you know. They have to work 24/7. Most of them have like a lot of jobs that they're doing. They have to go to school, like I said, because in this country, without education, without language school, without all that, you're not going to be accepted in a lot of facilities or in a lot of jobs and all that. So you work hard to jingle, balance between all these things. And like I said, you come home and you have to do everything. Like the cooking, these guys are not cooking. And that does not mean that they cannot cook, they cannot clean, they can do that. But they're not doing that. You know, back in Africa, for example, we were brought up like where and when I grew up. you know, the times I grew up and where I grew up, we were brought up in this kind of society that taught as women that men are supposed to stay in the sitting room and wait for women to cook, to clean, and then they get the food. Whether they brought this food or not, which they mostly did, because an African man was back then someone who went to search for his family. He brought things home. He brought maybe meat. He brought food at home, and the mom or the ladies, the girls, would cook with the mom in the kitchen, and the family would eat together. But I grew up in a family where we were brought up in a way where everybody had to do something. Like, we all had duties. Like, you had to clean dishes today, tomorrow the other person was going to be cooking, or vice versa, I don't know. But we are brought up in a way that not only ladies are supposed to be in the kitchen. And that's how I grew up with, at least with my brothers. They can cook, they know how to cook. They can cook for us. When I go home, they can cook for us. They make the best ugali and all that. I make the best stew. I make the best chapati and all that. You know, like, we do this work sharing. Like, that's how we grew up. But these traditional families back in Africa, there was nothing like that. And these Mzungu people have actually taken advantage of such cultures, I would say. They're now sitting at home and letting ladies do everything. Like, you're cooking, they're sitting in the sitting room watching TV. Like, they have grown to become this parasite African kind of a man, you know? The one who comes home drunkard and beats the whole family and shouts and wakes everybody up and demands for food, even though he went on a drinking spree like the whole day, brought nothing for dinner. Now he's waking everybody up, and kids are screaming, and they are, you know, the kids have to go to school tomorrow, and now it's like in the middle of the night, and people are screaming and crying, and he's beating up the whole family and demanding for food that he never brought. You know, such kind of scenarios. That is how the modern Mzungu has become, or has turned out into being, according to my observation. You know, they are learning so many things from the African culture and traditional African cultures, and they're turning that into their new lifestyles, you know. So if you are planning to come abroad and get married to a Mzungu, be very careful. Obviously, we have Mzungus out here who have money, who are actually going to spoil the ladies. But in Germany, I don't know. Germans, if you're watching this video, German men, comment down below. Because all I know is that over here we do a 50-50 bill payment. All we do here is you pay the rent, I pay the shopping, you pay for the car insurance, I pay the hospital insurance or the health insurance, you pay this, I pay this, you pay this, I pay this. This is how these German men have actually grown up into. And this, I'm talking about the ones who are working. So if you turn onto the other side, who are married to black women, they're not working, they have actually stopped working. They're so comfortable in these apartments that these ladies are paying the rent. They are at home the whole day, like chatting with ladies, I don't know, watching things and all that. Meanwhile, you're busy at work, like sweating like shit, fighting racism in order to bring food home to this guy. And you come home, sometimes he's drunk, sometimes he's sleeping, no dishes done, no food is cooked, so you get into the kitchen and you start doing the work. It's not funny. It's not funny, guys, but we call it the modern day slavery, you know. But you got into it yourself, so deal with it. I'm sorry to say that. You can get divorced if you want to, but most of these ladies are after German papers, like German passports, which are very strong passports, as you guys know. Okay, so they are ready to swallow that pill. As bitter as it is, or it has been, it does not matter how many years it's going to take. They're in for it because they think after this I'm getting the German papers and I'm a free person, I can do whatever I want. But that's not always the case. You could be having German papers and you're living on the streets. You have no job, you have no apartment, you're actually homeless, nobody is employing you. Because if you know what Germany is all about, guys, a lot of discrimination. When it comes to job searching, the name, if your name is African, the job, you are like the most down, like number 100 to eventually get this job. The apartments, the same story. They give you an appointment for the apartment viewing. Once they see you and your skin, they say the apartment is gone, it's rented out, you're not renting it out anymore, blah blah blah. So German papers do not always mean success, you know. And I've seen a lot of people struggle and get into depression and, you know, go through a lot of stuff, and like I said, become homeless because they thought, you know, this is the best dream, like Europe, Germany, I have the papers. I have sacrificed all these years with this guy. I have, like, you know, been quiet. He's been doing things to me. I never spoke out. I sent my family money all the time. I helped him. You know, I left nothing for myself. I never enjoyed my money. And now I have the German papers. And, you know, you end up being in a situation where you want to actually yourself. And these things have been happening. You have cases where people actually end up being alone and being in apartments and being found like gone, you know, because nobody is out there to check on them. Because on the other hand, guys, you know, not every African person here has friends. Like, not even African, every other culture that comes into Germany, it's very hard for you to actually make friends. I don't know, because I think everybody is busy, I don't know, but it's very hard to make friends. And here, making friends means you have to make appointments, like for a coffee date next year. We have 2026, and this guy wants, or a lady wants to go on a coffee date with me, like 2027 in January. So I have to put that on my calendar and all that, because I can't afford to miss this coffee date, you know. So it's very hard having friends in Germany. If you're out here to have friends, you can forget about it because it's not that easy. Everybody has their own apartment. People rarely visit each other. It's very hard. And if they do, the relationship must be a very different kind of a relationship. So people end up being lonely, depressed, alone, you know. And like I said, most people end up like themselves because it's way too much for them. If you're out here planning to marry an Oyibo, make sure he has money. Make sure he has money. And if he does not have money, make sure at least if you're working. I have no problem of marrying a man who has no money, as long as there is respect, as long as we agree on some things, like, or not agree, like automatically it comes from him and from me as well, that I go to work, you do the dishes, you know, I pay this bill, you pay this bill, you know. I have no problem with that. Like, we need some kind of an agreement, like, you're doing this, I'm doing that, not you doing everything. That's not going to work with me. So it's either you're working here at home doing something and I'm out there looking for money, or vice versa. Okay, so let me know, guys, ladies back in Kenya, you sometimes you have a very perfect life. Let me say that, because some of you are actually very spoiled. You have a family, your husband is going to work. I know he's going to drink 1 or 2 for the road after work, but he's coming home afterwards with nyama, the one you said, meat, and he's paying the bills. That is the most important thing nowadays, guys. If your husband is paying the bills, he's taking care of the family, he's taking care of the kids, he's taking time to be with his children, for example. And you guys know most families in Africa, the kids are not usually his kids, but he's taking care of them. You know, he's taking family on a vacation, Mombasa, wherever you guys are going for holidays. He's doing all that work. Appreciate this guy, because out here things are bad. Okay, if you come to Europe, diaspora, Germany, 50-50, 50-50, 50-50. Life is 50-50. So if you think you can come here and just sit at home and do nothing, and just get someone who is doing everything for you, forget about it. Plus back home, I see most ladies, you have house helps, like mkono wasichana wa kazi. That word does not exist here. Even the richest of the richest here sometimes mostly do their own house chores. Like they have to come back from international meetings with Trump, I don't know who. They come home, they have to do the dishes, they have to do the cooking. Most of these people do not have workers at home. They're coming home, or people like us, for example, when we step a step back, you know, people like us, we have to do everything for ourselves. And it's not like I do not have that money to get someone to do my laundry or someone to actually clean my house. There are people who do those things. There are people you can actually give money and they come, they do your whole like apartment cleaning and all that. There are people who can do that, and I'm in that maybe position of giving them money and them doing that. But for how long are you going to do that? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Like you get people doing your laundry, your cleaning, your dishes every month or every 2 weeks or whatever. For me, it's not worth it. So we end up seeing which is more advantageous. Like, should I save money and do something back home or here, or should I get someone to do my dishes because I want to sit down? No. So we end up coming from work and doing all our work here. So women back home who have house helps, who have husbands who are going to work and coming home, who are taking you for vacations, who are giving you wife allowances, respect this man. And don't come with those stories of, you know, they have side chicks and all that. Okay, that's your discussion with him, but I'm saying the general things. Make sure you respect this guy, because out here things are very different. And to those ladies who are actually out there like living like princess, which is 1% by the way, do not buy anything that these people are posting on social media. Do not buy anything they are posting there. You could be seeing someone who looks like a doll and Barbie girl and pretty and, you know, nice car and all that, you know, husband, flowers and no. These people are going to work undercover. The only thing they don't post is how much they're struggling out here. These people are paying all the bills in that house. They're taking their husbands for dinner. They're buying that expensive shirt and tie and sacque for the husband, because the husband has to look good. And they have to show you guys, we are in abroad, we're in diaspora. My husband looks classy. He looks clean. and I'm the princess here, and he brought me out and we're having a few sips of, come on girls, come on ladies. I'm not saying they should not fake it till they make it. All I'm saying is life out here is not as you guys think. We black women are out here paying a lot of bills for the white man because we are waiting for them papers, for the documentation, and we're not giving up. So we are hustling and dustling and faking it till we make it, okay? So excuse us and subscribe to this YouTube channel, guys. I don't know how this video was. I know it was all over the place and long and all that, but guys, we need to continue cooking here because tomorrow I'm having a day off, luckily. So let's cook, guys. And like I said, I'm going to see you on the next one. I'm going to also be posting a video on my cooking channel, which is Kenyan Cooking Abroad. So make sure you check that video out because you guys love my cooking channel. You need to subscribe more. Thank you, and comment and share the videos. And today I'm making a Kenyan dish, obviously. Okay, let me know what you guys want to see next time. If not, I'm going to choose any topic that I'm going to be talking about. Otherwise, tuonane next time. Bye.